Hey YouTube, it's Tamara with the Goddess in the Geek Homestead, and I am sitting out here. It's Sunday afternoon, and I've been meaning to do a garden tour with you guys, but I keep saying I want to plant one more thing, and get everything looking really nice, and so I just end up putting it off. So what I'm gonna do is we'll start right here, and I will take you out here and show you some of the things we've got growing, some of the things we're hoping to grow, because I still need to sow some seeds for a few things that I haven't done yet. We've got the beds installed, so you get to see the big reveal of that. I think I've got dirt in just about everything. I do have some other beds that I started that we'll talk about a little bit, and I might do a separate video explaining how I did that. So come with me, let's go out here and look at the garden. So this part of my garden is in between where we park our cars and our house. This doesn't get a lot of sun, well, not as much as it would be out in full sun, but these are things, most of what these are perennials. This is sage, and it needs water. I can tell the leaves are curling up because, you know, these raised beds, they dry out pretty quickly, and we had a really hot day yesterday, and today it's been pretty hot. And these I planted last year in the fall, and I think this is broccoli. I thought it was cauliflower, but it might be. I'm not sure, because my little tags got lost. And here's another one. This was broccoli, and it has went to flower, but it's pretty, so I just left it there. And here's another one that I think is the same as the ones over here. And again, they really need watering. I didn't realize that they were that dry. I haven't watered them in a couple of days, so we need to take care of that. So here we have my kale that didn't do so great, but look at those pods on here, you guys. I'm wondering if the seeds, I'm thinking, are going to be in these little pods. I don't know if the pods are edible. They might be, but look, this kale's coming back actually. See, we got new growth right there on this kale. So I don't know about that. I need to be more experienced with kale. I'm more into the herbs than I am the kale. There's a bee on the borage. So this borage plant came up by itself last year, or this year from last year. And I planted it here to try to keep the hornworms off of the tomatoes. It didn't really work all that well, but we didn't really have a lot of hornworms, so that's good. This is a wild lettuce that has come up here, and I just let it go. It's actually going to seed here, so I'm gonna see what I can do with that. And over here we have some little radishes. I've already harvested a little bit out of these. There's a little borage volunteer over there. And then that is a beautyberry bush that planted itself in that container, and I have left it there, and it's come back to life again this year. That's been there probably 4 or 5 years now. And then over in this bed where I normally plant my tomatoes, we have some spinach, which I probably need to go ahead and harvest because it's going to be too hot for it the next few days. And then I have these really pretty radishes that I've harvested some off of. They're purple. Can y'all see that? They're so pretty. And then over there we have some beets that are still tiny, and some leeks that are still tiny, but they will grow, hopefully. It won't be too hot for them. We'll have to see how that goes. So let's go over to the other part of the garden. I said that, and I turned around and I saw this Feverfew. Y'all, this Feverfew moved over here by itself from a plant that I have over there. And it just seeded itself here, and it likes it here, so I'm going to leave it alone and let it do its thing. But Feverfew is a good medicinal herb to have in your garden, and it's got really pretty flowers too. So win-win. This is the side garden beside of our house. This is a bee balm, a lemon bee balm that I got free seed from Baker's Creek last year, so I planted it. I wasn't sure if it was going to be hardy here, but it came back. I didn't protect it or anything, and it's in this pot, and it's really gorgeous. And so recommended. Can't wait to see it flower, see what it looks like. I'm not really sure what the medicinal qualities are, but I guess I can look that up too. I just thought it was really pretty, which I like all plants. So, and here we have black cohosh that I wasn't sure if it was going to come back this year, but it did. Yay, look at that. Look at all this beautiful black cohosh coming up. And this one actually has some really pretty green new growth. Oops, see there? Probably need to water this really well because this does get some sun, especially since the leaves haven't come in on this crepe myrtle yet. I love the bark on this crepe myrtle, the trunk. It's just so pretty. And crepe myrtles can be invasive, trust me. They are all over the place out here. This one right here came up by itself, which I'm getting ready to dig it up and put it somewhere else. And the one, there's some snapdragons. And the one over here, right in the curve, came up by itself, and I left it there, and it's gotten huge. It's probably not a good idea to have it over there, but oh well, it's there. And it's pretty, so. Okay, let's move on to the other garden. First, snapdragons. Isn't that gorgeous? And look at this golden yarrow that a friend of mine, Pat, gave me last year. Oh, look at this. Aren't they pretty? Look at that umbral. I just love yarrow. This isn't the medicinal yarrow, it's more of a oh, what's the word? To make things look pretty, whatever that word is. It's not really, I don't think it's medicinal. I wouldn't use it for medicine, but some other people might. But gosh, look at the snapdragons. And they've spread, they like seeded themselves down here in the soil. We had a really mild winter, so I'm wondering if that's why some of this stuff came back so well. And then of course peonies. There's peonies all over my yard. So you'll see flashes of color every now and then from them too. Okay, let's go over here. I headed to the medicinal garden and I keep stopping because I keep forgetting that I got stuff planted everywhere. So this is mallow and it has done wonderfully this year. Came back. I planted it from seed, or started seed last year. And that's a columbine that my friend Pat gave me that is looking really nice. Was flowering really pretty. I'm wondering if these little things don't have seeds in them. I'm not sure. I don't know how to save seed from columbine, so if you know how to do that, let me know in the comments so you can help enlighten me. I have some columbine that spread in another part of the garden. It's this same one, but I don't know how it did it. It just did it by itself. So, and then there's another Feverfew and some violets coming up over here. And I planted that little geranium that I like. My coltsfoot, I barely have one little itty bitty plant in there. I don't know what happened to my coltsfoot, so I'm sad about that. And then just little ornamental flowers. And these are Solomon seal that I started probably 4 or 5 years ago, and they've gotten huge. I need to like spread those out. I'm trying to get my husband to build me another little bed right here in this corner, and I'll put them in there. That way they can be close, and then I'll probably start using them for medicine. I don't really want to, I want to make sure I have plenty of them before I start using some of them for medicine. And I'm going to move this comfrey because it's looking rather pitiful up there in that bed all by its lonesome. And there's some parsley, and that overwintered. That's the curly type. I think it's bolting now though. But yeah, I've been pinching off of that to cook this past winter. Okay. So we're over here right outside the greenhouse. Here's some tomatoes that I potted up yesterday that I didn't realize I was going to have left over. So I'll be selling those. And then there's some baby berries, crazy cherry tomatoes that I had potted up. Some of these need water, I can tell right now. These are plants that I'm selling and planting in my yard. And over here some more. I got everything kind of stationed outside the greenhouse. My husband is in there working on some stuff I asked him to do. There's my white sage that overwintered. Here's my burial ground for things that didn't make it. It happens. And there's a banana tree plant that a friend gave me that is looking pretty good, and a comfrey that I got from Napoleon that she gifted, well, I traded her plant for. And this here is Greek mullen. If you've ever heard of mullen, Greek mullen is pretty much the same thing. except for where mullein is a biennial, Greek mullein is a perennial. See how tall that thing is? I don't know if you guys remember from last year. It was in one of the raised beds over there that was really looking bad because it needed watering, and it really didn't do much. It just kept giving me this basil rosette every year. I think it was root bound and it needed more nutrition and stuff. So I planted it over here at the end of the year last year, at the end of the growing season, like in the fall, over here beside the greenhouse where I built this little raised bed thing that I did a video on. And man, look at it. So this mullein, the Greek mullein, where, you know, like I said, it's a perennial, but the Greek mullein, instead of having just one flower stalk like the regular mullein does, the Greek has many. So you see all these stalks here. These are going to grow flowers. Look at all that. We have flowers galore, and you know, the flowers are medicinal, good for ears, ear infections and that kind of thing, make you an ear oil. So that's very helpful as far as that goes. My flag is falling down. This is horseradish root that I had in a pot for I don't know how many years. Again, and I just stuck it over here in this bed to see if I could get it to grow, and it's doing well. Usually there's some pest or something that likes to eat this, and it'll usually eat it to pieces. I haven't sprayed it or anything. I don't use a lot of sprays or chemicals or even like fertilizer. I don't do a lot of that stuff. I do worm castings and compost, but that's about it. So, and look at these elders. They look so much better this year than they did last year. This has been the year for elderberries. I think it's because the universe knows that we need them. I'll go to the other side and show you the little volunteers. Look at those babies, you can see them in between there. But look at these flowers coming out so pretty. So the elderflower is medicinal too, so I'm just waiting on these flowers to bloom so I can harvest me some flowers, which the bees are probably not going to be happy with me. But oh well, they got to share. So look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love it. And then this is St. John's wort. I just kind of threw in there on a whim. I started from seed last year, and that's one plant. So look how huge that one plant got in that one spot. You can grow this stuff. If I can do it, you can do it. Here is the Valerian that I planted last year. I have a video about that too. They were real tiny little plants I started from seed, and now they are ginormous and they're beautiful. So Valerian, you wouldn't use this part of it, you would use the root. I haven't even smelled of these flowers. Let me see what they smell like. Oh gosh, they have a good smell, unlike the root. They smell really nice. So you need some valerian in your life. They are a perennial. At least they are here. I'm in zone 7A. So, and look, my St. John's wort that's here, you can see all that. That was like, I think 3 or 4 plants. I can't remember now. And they are already budding up and getting ready to bloom. So these don't normally bloom until summer solstice, and that's really the time you're supposed to harvest to make oil and things. But these are just getting an early start, I guess. There's my lavender. The dad blasted crabgrass almost took it over, and I had to do something about it. See, there's the devil crabgrass over there that I'm still trying to mulch and get it to go away. Anybody know how to get it to go away without all this back-breaking work and having to mulch so much or not using chemicals or whatever? Anyway, so let's go over here. This is my yarrow. This is medicinal yarrow. So I started this from seed last year. These were really tiny itty-bitty plants when I put them in here last year. I think I put like maybe three plants in here, and it's done pretty well. But they're in here with this mullein, so they're kind of competing with each other, because this was kind of like the bed where the things were going to go to die, and they did not. They surprised me and lived, and so now we have plants and they're all struggling to kind of compete with each other. They probably need water too, because it hasn't rained, but it's supposed to rain like all week, this coming up week. So I'll water them some this afternoon after the sun kind of goes down to help it, you know, grab some of the water and be in there all night. So here's some volunteer elderberries that have moved out, which I don't know if I'm gonna be able to leave that close to my beds because they're gonna start shading my beds and we don't want that. And then I've got over here more elders popping up, babies. We got little babies everywhere, little babies, more little babies. And then here I have the rosemary that I planted last year. I used my tub that I had for my chickens and made a bed into it. That's the bad thing about being married to a gardener. She'll grab anything that looks like it'll hold plants and put it out in the garden and put plants in it. So this rosemary flowered really pretty this year. It was so gorgeous. And now it's just there. It looks pretty. Some of them are kind of brown. It's probably getting dry too. I might cut some of that back and water it real good. Let's go over here. There's my companion. That's the word. My companion. Okay, so here in the first bed, this is where we used to have the bees. So you see the bees are gone now because the varroa mites got them. My husband, I think, did a video on that. So here are my snap peas, which are finally, I have a little flower right here. Can you see that little flower? So we're finally going to get something off of these. Grabbing a hold of each other. Try to fix it. I didn't fix it. Okay, I'll leave you alone. And here's some more. I think this is a different variety, but they should be producing something here pretty soon. I'm hoping. I think I got that. Do I have that in there? Hopefully we'll get something over there. Ooh, look. We have sprouts. These are lemon cukes that finally sprouted. I had to plant these twice. The first time, I don't know what happened. I think it got too cold for them and they just didn't come up. These are daisies that come up here by themselves. They were all over this back end of the garden and I had to pull some of them up because it was too much. I wasn't going to be able to walk through the garden. So I left those just because they're pretty and I'm probably going to come out here and cut me some flowers to take in the house. This is Dandelion that's come back this year. They have a beautiful purple flower and the root's used for medicine, which I did a video on that, which you can check out on our channel. And these are volunteers of Dandelion down here, so I'll try to be really careful not to step on them because we want them to survive. I have a friend that's probably going to come over and help me harvest some of them. Okay, let's walk to the next bed. Look at this rue, y'all. If any of y'all purchased a rue from me, this is what it does. Look how gorgeous that is. I'm getting ready to come out here and clip some of these to make some smudge sticks or something with. And put some in the house as a flower with the daisies. It's going to be so pretty. But they went crazy over here in the bed. They're gorgeous though. I love them. Then there's some other wort that has went to flower, or going to flower. She likes it over here too. Okay, and these have finally sprouted. I had to plant these twice too. These are Armenian yard-long cucumbers. They're supposed to do pretty well in the heat, so we'll have to see. I think it's a Japanese cucumber. And these are either blackberries or blueberries, I don't remember. Anyway, I have these planted like all along the side. I've got to get out. I bought me a torch that I've got to get out and use to burn all this grass because the husband won't weed eat there. He says it tears up his weed eater, so I'm going to have to take care of those. I've got an anise hyssop that has come up right here by itself. It reseeded over here, which I don't mind. I love anise hyssop and the pollinators love it too, so we can love on the anise hyssop. It tastes kind of like licorice. It's kind of sweet, really good in teas, good for colds and stuff. And look at this. Do y'all know what that is? That's asparagus that we didn't eat. So it went way up there and it's got little bitty flowers. I don't think we can eat it now, but that's what asparagus turns into if you don't eat it. This here is nettle. It was very green and lush and I harvested some of it. Now it's getting kind of crinkly because I think it needs water. We haven't turned the sprinklers on yet because it had been so wet. I think we need to do that, and plus it had been cold. But I think we need to do that. We need to get those sprinklers going. And over here's some more nettle. There's a bronze fennel that I got from my friend Pat last year, and it has come back gorgeous this year. It feels so, I don't know, frilly. It's just so pretty. Let's go around here. And that is cilantro that reseeded itself and now has went to seed. I'm just gonna leave it. Hopefully it'll keep reseeding and coming back. And this is cilantro that reseeded and came back. Look at that tower of cilantro. I ain't never. And there's some more little plants over here. This is thyme, which is absolutely gorgeous and smells absolutely gorgeous. It likes it over here. And here's some more thyme. I haven't planted anything over here yet. That's the plan to do today. I'm going to plant some beans and different climbing things over here on these trellises. Now down here, you'll see this one little plant. Let me see, I can't see, there's a glare on my phone. Right here, y'all see that plant right there? That is skullcap, but it's the Chinese skullcap. It's bacal, and it grows like a weed out here in my garden. Even though we've mulched, I've tried to mulch around it. See, here's some more right here. But it really likes it out here. And I've heard that there's some people that need some, but and then there's a lot more over there beside that elecampane too. This is a goji berry plant that I need to dig up and get out of this bed and put it somewhere by itself, because I'm having to try to contain it because it hits me and it's got thorns on it and it's not nice to work around. There is another anise hyssop that has planted itself and is growing out of a board on the bed, which is fine. I like anise hyssop, so I don't mind. It's all good, baby. You just grow. And over here, this is Feverfew. Yes, this is Feverfew from last year. And see, this one is getting ready to bud. Feverfew normally likes, see the little flowers? Feverfew normally likes moist and shade. And this is neither. So it's really doing well considering its growing conditions out here. But it hasn't been crazy hot until yesterday. So it's doing fairly well. I'll probably come out here and harvest it once it flowers. And here's my elecampane. I think this elecampane is finally going to flower. They've been here probably 2 or 3 years. And this looks like it's getting ready to get a bud on it to flower. So that's gorgeous. Elecampane flowers are beautiful. And then there's some. I had a bunch left over from seed. From seed that I didn't know what to do with. So I stuck them over here in a corner thinking, okay, I hope you guys make it. And they did. So there they are. I haven't seen any Tulsi reseeds this year, which kind of bums me out. But I started some Tulsi, so that's not bad. Last year I had a ton of Tulsi in this bed. But the only thing that come back this year was the anise hyssop, which I love, so that's fine. But I'll probably plant some of my seedlings in here and get some more Tulsi going in this bed. And let's see. Walk over here. This is mint. This is peppermint or spearmint one, I can't remember which. And I started it from seed last year, so I was determined I was going to have mint growing in my yard. This is motherwort and chives together. Some other things I started from seed last year that I just kind of stuck. I kind of just stick things places and don't really know what to do with them. Here's some volunteer mint that decided to pop up on the ground. This is hyssop, like the blue hyssop, which is used medicinally. This is my ashwagandha. So I was going to harvest this ashwagandha last year at the end of the year. It is an adaptogen and you use the root. It's also called winter cherry. I need to cut these back actually. And then I come out here this spring and I thought I need to harvest this stuff because we had a really mild winter, like I said. And so I saw these leaves and I'm like, okay, there's mint coming up over here. Is that mint? And it didn't have the ridges and stuff on it. It was coming from the base of the plant. So guess what? We have ashwagandha growing again. It's coming back. So this is going to be a beast once I go to harvest these roots, that's going to be a fun video to take. Y'all are going to love watching me try to dig that up, because they're already something. They're a bear to get up, but yeah, that'll be fun. So this is astragalus, and it was started from seed last year. Let's see, there was something I was going to show you. Oh yeah, sorry about the flipping the camera all over the place. This is my mountain of mugwort. So look at the pretty mugwort. Yeah, I know, it's everywhere, and it's probably going to grow everywhere, but I don't care. I love it. So it is here. So this is where I kind of expanded the garden. You can see where the fence is kind of laying down. So the idea is I'm going to take this fence and go all the way down to the end of where I've got these. So if I go all the way down there, I still got right much to mulch and stuff right in here, but I've got this part taken care of. So this is the addition over here, where all this new mulch and those big raised beds are. We got the trellises up in them. Got some more fire rings that I'm going to set up. And then I got my tomato bed planted, most of it anyway. This is some more yarrow that I started from seed last year, so I'm going to have a ton of yarrow, and I can't wait for that. And I can't see this phone really good because it's glaring, so I apologize if I'm not getting this stuff. And here's the butterfly weed, or pleurisy root, and some foxglove, and that's a hollyhock back there. And there's lamb's ear. Here's my other St. John's wort that I started from seed. This one is growing outside the bed here on the ground, as you can see. So we're going to have a ton of St. John's wort, hopefully. This is milkweed that came back. My phone is trying to tell me that my battery's dying. This is milkweed that came back from last year that I'm hoping that the monarchs will find. There's some catnip. This is ginger mint and lemon mint, I think. That's a dog, which is really a weed, but I left it there. This catnip, the pollinators seem to like it. I got it on sale at Lowe's last year. I probably paid $1 or something for it, and it's gorgeous, and the bees are all over it. Then there's catnip, which is different from catmint. Let's see here. We have chocolate mint, which I'm getting ready to harvest some of that to take in and dry. Periwinkle that I did not plant. I had a container that I purchased at Lowe's for like $1 or something because it was on clearance in the fall, and I just left it there, and now it's everywhere. So be wary if you buy that stuff. They're not periwinkle, primrose, that's the word. If you buy it and plant it, this is what happens. It just grows. I mean, it's gorgeous, but it becomes very weedy. There's my echinacea I started from seed last year, and it's getting ready to bloom. This is Echinacea Purpurea, and they're getting ready to flower. And that's oregano that I started from seed last year. There is my lemon balm, also started from seed last year. I've already harvested some of this. You can tell by this little corner right here, and it's already coming back. And that is yerba buena over here, and it has reseeded and planted itself. It runs little runners, so it's got some coming here and some coming up over here in the walkway. So I might be giving some of that away. And then I have a dandelion that planted itself right here in the bed, which I had threatened to plant some dandelion, so I'm glad that it put itself there, so now I can harvest the root and use it. This chamomile came back, which I thought was dog fennel, and it was not, so I need to come out here and harvest these flowers, actually. There's some horsetail that a friend gave me last year. I thought was going to die, but it's got little babies. I don't know if you can see the little green spikes in there. So we'll be able to do that. Plant it somewhere good. So over here we have some comfrey growing, which is, there was some mint in there with this comfrey. I'm not real sure if it's still in there or not. I think I can see it from the other side. Let's see. Yeah, there it is peeking out. Y'all see? So I need to do some. I'll make some compost tea from this comfrey. That's one andrographis that I got to germinate, and it grew really fast, and it was needing like water and nutrients, so I just kind of stuck it in here, and I'm going to take some more seeds and throw it in there with it, and hopefully they will come up too. That's my hope and plan anyway. And then here's the bed of anise hyssop that I planted last year from seed. Well, I started the seed and put seedlings in here, and it's gorgeous. I'm going to have lots of anise hyssop this year, which makes me happy. So this is the Addition garden, which I planted some stuff in, not a lot. I'm trying to rush along, you guys, because my battery's about dead. So I planted a hops plant right here. It's going to climb up over this trellis. And then I found this sunflower, and I thought it was really pretty, so I bought it. And then there's some perennial amaryllis that my mother-in-law gave me that I planted out there. And then, you know, we had the trellis, so I'm going to plant, I planted some Malabar spinach over here. See how they're doing. Okay, yeah, they're doing good. So the Malabar spinach will climb, but that's not a perennial, so it'll climb up and over and be real pretty. And there's a blackberry bush that needs to be weeded and something done with it. Look at all the grass. We're growing grass, y'all. All right, so here are my tomatoes and marigolds and some calendula that I planted on the other side. I'm going to plant beans on the other side of this trellis. And tomatoes over here. Once the tomatoes get big enough, we're going to start tying them to the trellis. So that's all the way down there. And then down at the very end, I'm planning on putting some cherry tomatoes in there. So let's see what else I got to show y'all. That's a witch hazel tree that came back finally. Makes me happy. We want witch hazel. So then we'll be planting some climbing things in here. I just haven't done anything with it just yet. But that's the plan for today. And plus I'm gonna plant some more elders out there. And I don't know what else. We'll figure something out, I'm sure. So I hope you enjoyed the tour, and I hope I didn't go too fast because, like I said, my battery is dying, so I apologize. This phone, I think I'm getting ready to get a new one for my birthday. So maybe it'll do better. So I hope you enjoyed the tour. Please subscribe and like our videos if you like them. Leave me a comment if you see anything that you want to suggest that I plant that I don't have already. I look forward to hearing from you guys. And you can check us out on Facebook. We have a Goddess and the Geek page or group. No, I think it's a page on Facebook. And then I have a page for Native Roots Herbals as well on Facebook. So look for us. Let us know how you feel, what you think about the gardens. If you need any tips, advice, or you want to give any tips or advice, we're open to it. So look forward to seeing you guys and hearing from you. And we'll talk to you later. Peace.